Hello and welcome to the next episode of my channel where I'll be taking up the last lesson from class 12th Flamingo book. So the narrator of the story, that is Franz, is a little school boy, and the story opens with him being late for the school on a beautiful warm morning. He was scared that his teacher, M. Hamel, would scold him because he was late and had not learned his French lessons on participles. As it was a beautiful day, he was tempted to run away from school and spend it outdoors, but he decided to go to school finally. On his way to school, he passed through the town hall. There he saw a crowd gathered around a bulletin board. In the past, all the bad news had come from that board during the war. Point to be noted, the World War was going on and the place where France lived was Alsace. It was a French colony but captured by the Germans in the war. So in the past, all the bad news had come through that board. Franz wondered what the news was, but this time he hurried to school. The blacksmith stopped him and asked him not to hurry as he had ample of time. Maybe blacksmith was making fun of him. This is what Franz thought. So instead of waiting, he headed to the school. When Franz reached school, unlike other days, there was an unusual silence. He was scared that the teacher would scold him, so he hurried towards his classroom. But Franz was surprised to see that everybody was already seated in their seats, unlike other days when it was very noisy and people were moving about. So it was easy for Franz to sneak in. But today, everybody was already sitting. And one more unique thing. The last benches were occupied by the elders of the village, and all of them looked sad. M. Hamel also seemed kinder than usual. He was dressed in his special clothes, which he wore only on special occasions. As Franz sat wondering about what was happening, M. Hamel announced that it was his last French class. These words were a kind of thunderclap to Franz's ears. It was a shock. Now there had been an order from Berlin that only German would be taught in schools of Alsace and Lorraine. After this announcement, Franz was overcome with the feelings of regret, for he had wasted his time in useless things when he could have gone to school and learned French. M. Hamel tells everybody that French is a very beautiful language. He further added that they would make fun of people by calling themselves French because they could not write or speak their own language. He said, "How can you call yourself French? You don't even know how to read and write." Then M. Hamel asked Franz to recite the rules of participles, but he was very kind when Franz was unable to recite the rules. He also remarked that we all have a lot to reproach. All of us have a lot to regret. So why to scold you? You are regretting because you did not study when you should have. And I am regretting because many a times I gave you leave and went out fishing when I could have taught you. He also remarked that many parents preferred to send their children to work rather than to school. As the class progressed, M. Hamel taught the grammar for the last time very patiently, followed by the writing lesson where he just asked the students to write two words, Alsace, France, Alsace, France. Franz was very sad thinking about the faithful service of M. Hamel for the past 40 years. That man had dedicated his life to teaching French, and now he has to leave. They could hear M. Hamel's sister packing upstairs, and it was a real pain to imagine them leaving. M. Hamel taught the lessons very patiently, and he just wanted them to pay attention that day. The elders had come that day to school to show their respect towards M. Hamel for his hard work and dedication. Franz heard the pigeons cooing outside, and he started to think, will these Germans also make the pigeons change their natural way? Will they also make them coo in German? Because they are so fond of, capturing everything. At last, at 12, the church bell struck, and it was the end of their last lesson. M. Hamel was filled with strong emotions and wrote on blackboard, Vive la France, which means long live France. And then he dismissed the class. Thank you. I hope you have liked the video and understood it. Please like the video. Thank you.